So I want to talk about spiritual pandering. What is spiritual pandering? So you will have certain influencers, law of attraction speakers, and teachers who will guide you to teach you a certain way in order to show up a certain thing. So when someone's running a business, right, and there's money involved, right, they're gonna speak to you in a certain way and not revealing the full truth. Does that make sense? Right? And so they will pander to your emotions, pander to your excitement, pander to your dopamine releases, pandering to what you want to hear rather than what you need to hear. All right. And so you got to be careful of that. You got to be listening to people who are legit. There are people out here that are just talking about, do this technique, do that technique, and it's all feel good, right? Feel good teachings, right? Whenever something's feel good teachings, it's a way of you being entertained and escaping the reality that there's actually things that you need to work on within yourself. Sort of escapism, right? Escaping your current circumstance, in a way deluding yourself. It's like Tony Robbins says, if there's problems in your life, you don't want to avoid them. He says it like this: if you got weeds in your garden, don't say there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds. There's weeds right there, right? There's weeds in your garden. Don't affirm to yourself that there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds. There's weeds there and they need to be dealt with, And so a lot of spiritual teachers won't tell you that you have weeds. They don't want to tell you about your weaknesses and where you are lacking and where you need to grow in order to get where you want to be. They are guiding the information to make you feel good, so you eventually go and buy their stuff, which then in itself is teaching you the same thing, and you're avoiding your shadows. You're not intentionally avoiding your shadows, but they're keeping you in a trap, right? They're keeping you trapped into the third dimension. Everything in our reality is of the third dimension. If we look at everything right now, the phone that you're looking at, the train that you're driving in, or the car that you're driving in right now, or whatever it is you're doing, right? Everything around you is coming from someone's mind, someone's idea, right? Most of it wasn't an intention that came from the heart, right? It was an intention that came from the mind, the ego, all right? And so these ideas and things that other people have created and manifested are literally all lower vibrations than you. You're an organic being, right? And so you're higher vibration than money, you're a higher vibration than the phone, you're a higher vibration than the camera or a TV and success and all of this stuff, right? You're higher vibration than that. And so when you're manifesting these things, you're actually lowering your vibration, okay? And so they're teaching you to be more connected with the 3D, right? They're teaching you to be more connected with ego. They're teaching you to be more connected with things outside of yourself. And the goal is to go inward, go the other way, right? Go into yourself and realize that there's a whole world and universe within you. And that it's more than just your thoughts that's going on within you. Okay, we are very powerful. A lot of people have spiritual gifts and they don't even know they have spiritual gifts because we've been so distracted by social media, by the news, by, the television. And so we're becoming more and more disconnected. It's my belief that back in ancient Kemet, or Egypt, right? People didn't used to speak with their mouth. They're telepathic and they use symbolism and hieroglyphics and all of this stuff. Things used to be different back then. The technology used to be much more advanced. And so that's my belief system, a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. But I watched a documentary recently on ayahuasca, and the shamans were able to communicate with someone in another side of the world and have her come to their retreat without calling her, messaging her, anything. That they've done it through taking ayahuasca and sending her the message, and she came to the event. Like, she didn't know anything about them, they didn't know each other. It's like, and so there's things in our reality that are beyond, what's going on out there. Out there is the opposite of life. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but literally out there is the opposite of life. Life is within. Okay, if you can create life within yourself and you are feeling good naturally without things, and you feel whole and complete without things, and you're content with who you are and where you're going and all of this stuff, you are in genuine alignment with source or God or nature. And once you're in tune with nature and once you're in tune with source, the things out there become less and less important. And as they become less and less important, they become much easier to manifest, because a lot of us put the things that we want on a pedestal. We put it above us. And that's the thing. As soon as you put it above you, which is a lower vibration, you're lowering your own vibration, and you're becoming more and more disconnected with the self. Okay, so spiritual pandering is when a teacher, and again, not that all of these teachers are doing this purposely. Okay, they're trapped in their own ego logic as well, and they know they got a business to run. They got a team to support. They got to do this. They got to do that. They got to make their own living, and so that's the trap of money. That's the trap of trying to grow a YouTube channel. You're gonna say all the sexy things, all the nice things, all the pretty things, so that people will subscribe to you and follow you because it's nice and you make me feel good and all of this stuff. I don't believe life's all about feeling good 100% of the time, right? We're supposed to have the darkness, we're supposed to have the light, right? We're supposed to have the yin and the yang of life, right? And so spiritual pandering is when they're only teaching the positive, and having you avoid the truth, right? My teachings is to get back to your truth, get back to who you really are, and understanding that you have a lot of gifts within. Going back to the ancient Kemet ayahuasca, talk that I was just saying earlier, it's like imagine you spent more time in the inner world than you did on the outer world. Would you develop clairvoyance? Would you develop clairsentience? Would you develop claircognizance? Would you develop clairaudient? Right? Would you develop all of these things where you're able to have these psychic abilities and all this stuff, where you're able to, send a message to someone telepathically and whatnot, and set an intention, of what it is that you're creating, and it happens, and you have no doubt that it's gonna happen, or it's happened, right? You're just in that reality, and you're so secure within yourself, and you're not chasing some external thing in order to feel secure. You're secure already, and you just know this is it. You got this unwavering, like, strong confidence about what it is that you're manifesting. So there's always levels to this stuff, and even I'm growing, in this area. I'm not saying I'm the greatest at, like, I'm going to set an intention and do it. I have certain belief systems and things that I've been through, in the past that's sabotage my ability to manifest. But I believe I'm a really powerful manifester overall. It's just realizing that there's levels to this stuff, and you can continually grow over time. But you can't get there by wanting to feel good all the time. I think it's important for us to just work on becoming more whole and complete, and getting more connected with source, and realizing that you are awareness and you're not the ego mind. The ego mind is a construct that has been pressed upon you. Okay, everything that you learn, every word that you know, everything that you think, everything that you feel is a concoction of what you've learned from your external environment. All right, and so that's not who you are. That's who you've become. All right, who you are is the awareness who can see those thoughts, who can see those emotions, who can see those behaviors. And from that space, you can transmute and transform yourself in who you want to become. My goal is to get closer, making my ego get closer to source, get closer to God. This is like an undoing, an unlearning, an uneducating, a deprogramming of everything that I know and believe, and getting deeper and deeper into that. It's a never-ending process, to be honest with you. But the fast way to rise above everything and create this sense of detachment from the third dimension is to actually just zoom out from your mind and realizing and becoming aware of the mind, or aware of the ego. aware of your emotions. And once you zoom out and you're aware of it, and you keep on building the muscle of doing that, what happens is you almost like you have way more inner peace, right? You have way more calmness. You're accepting your mind or the brain is, and the body is like upset or sad, and it's also accepting that it's good and it's feeling great right now or whatever it is. And you're just becoming, when you're in awareness, you're in non-duality, right? You're in the isness, you're in unconditional love. When you're in awareness, you're in truth, you're in God. Okay? You're seeing life through the eyes of source. And once you're in that space and you can constantly come back to that space, right, and being aware of the ego mind, that's when you transcend it all right? But it takes work to do that, all right? So we recently just opened up an opportunity for you to get free energy reading via a website rather than on WhatsApp. So I'm excited to launch this for you. You can go to alchemyenergyreading.com. The link will be in the description. To get your free energy reading, all you got to do is enter in your email to register. Send us a few bits of information, your name, what you want to manifest, blah, 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 whatever, right? And once you send that to us, I'll be personally doing an energy reading for you. And it also comes along with a manifestation diagnosis session as well. So I'm really excited to be doing this for you because 40% of you didn't have WhatsApp. And so I know a lot of you were missing out on the opportunity to get it. I know it takes like kind of long downloading a new app, and then you don't want to have all the notifications on your phone and stuff like this. So I know you have an email address, so you can send us you can just register by entering your email, and then you get started with the process to getting your energy reading. Okay, the link and the information will be in the description. Check out this video over here on the 3-part series on raising your vibration and how to raise your vibration properly, and check out my previous video on the 14 things I manifested through expressing gratitude. And remember to keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.